From the very start of Dexter, we're introduced to this whole idea of the Dark Passenger, and it's not just some deep meaning behind his urge to kill, it's a real voice in his head that makes him do things. And for a while, Dexter really believes that. He talks about the passenger like it's his own thing.
The Dark Passenger has been with me ever since I can remember, pulling the strings, running the show.
But here's the problem, the Dark Passenger never actually does anything on its own. It doesn't force Dexter to kill, it doesn't take over his body. Dexter is still the one making all the choices. So where did all this come from? Well, Dexter's whole origin story is straight out of a horror movie. He was a toddler when he saw his mother get butchered right in front of him. That moment broke something inside him, and because he was too young to understand it, his brain did what brains do when faced with trauma. It created a story. It told him that the darkness he felt wasn't him, it was something else, because that's a lot easier to deal with than the idea that he's just built different. And Harry, his adopted father, instead of getting him real help, he leaned into the story. He saw the darkness in Dexter and thought, alright, I can't fix him, but maybe I can control him. And that's where the code comes in. Harry gave Dexter rules: kill only the guilty and never get caught. And for a while it works. The Dark Passenger stays in check, Dexter convinces himself that he's not a monster and that he's just a necessary evil. But does the Dark Passenger actually care about the code? Absolutely not, but Dexter does, because when you look at his kills, things start to get messy. He kills Oscar Prado, an innocent man, just because he panicked. He lets Trinity walk free for way too long because deep down, he enjoys the game. He bends the rules whenever it suits him, manipulating, lying, and even considering killing Deborah when she becomes a threat.
I will not kill my sister. I will not kill my sister. I will not kill my sister. Deb, I'm the Bay Harbor Butcher.
Now, here's where things get tragic. For years, Dexter lives this double life, blood analyst by day, serial killer by night. But the more he tries to be normal, the more cracks start to show. Because at the end of the day, you can't have a dark side without it eventually taking over. Let's look at Rita, for example, his wife, which was the perfect cover. To her, Dexter is the ideal husband, loving and supportive. But can Dexter actually love her? Or is he just playing the role of a husband because it keeps him safe? Rita's death was brutal and personal, but it was the ultimate proof that Dexter's darkness will consume everything around him. Then there's Deborah, the one person who actually genuinely loves Dexter, but the moment she learns the truth, she starts falling apart.
Are you a serial killer?
Yes.
Now, here's the million-dollar question. Was the Dark Passenger even real? Or was it just Dexter trying to separate himself from his own evil? Think about it. If the Dark Passenger was real, why would it change? Why would it disappear when Dexter falls in love? Why would it fade when he decides to leave everything behind? The answer is simple, because it was never real in the first place. Dexter just didn't want to admit what he really was. A guy who kills because deep down, he actually likes it. By the time we reach the final season, Dexter tries to abandon the Dark Passenger. He tries to start over, to love, and to be human. But here's the thing, you can't just walk away from who you are. The Dark Passenger wasn't something haunting Dexter. It wasn't some curse placed on him. It was him. And that's why his story could only end one way, because when you strip away all the excuses, the justifications, and the code, all that's left is the truth. Dexter Morgan wasn't controlled by the Dark Passenger. He was the Dark Passenger.